Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yo, what's going on, everyone? Welcome to this week's episode of River City 93. I'm your host, as always, Elliot Barr, and it's joining me are four people that were not as liberated as I was, but they enjoyed the full game postivities as much as probably more than anyone else. Matt had a time. Let me tell you, Matt is a party animal, okay? Matt is a party animal. But before this, if you have kids in the car, please cover the ears. I just want to say this. It is so fucking great to beat that pink team and to shove it to them on national TV. It was so fucking amazing. Now you can cover the kids' ears. Hey guys.
We're doing this 4 days after the game for a reason because physically wouldn't have been possible to do it. The first couple after.
Oh no,
my voice was
rough.
Next day.
No, my voice was bad. I think my voice recovered literally yesterday.
I got home and I'm still like on 10 from the game. It took me to like 3 to finally go to sleep. It took me forever to go to sleep, yo.
Oh goodness!
I kept rewatching highlights. I know the whole Richard's going for the winner in the back. I heard that 1,000 times.
Oh, was it exciting?
Yes.
You had fun at the game?
I did. It was very fun. Very fun. Yeah, the whole night was dope. That was dope. The whole night was dope. Oh man, even the tailgate was cool. Because we had they call them fried flamingo legs, the chicken leg slide.
Yeah, they were great.
John Mars looking out there like a full dad, just smoking sausages, drinking a daddy ice. So,
It's brat summer.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, brat summer.
Yeah, we even had the USL League One. Well, I don't think he's the League One president. He might.
Yeah, he is.
Is he the League One?
Yep.
Oh, yeah, we had him down at the tailgate.
My favorite part of that is, chatting with him. A couple other people were there too, and he's at one point talking about, you guys have such a great history. There's some teams that can continually spend money and never accomplish anything, and there's a bunch of Madsen fans 10 feet away. I'm like, you need to go talk to them right now.
Of the devil.
Hey, sir, I want to introduce you to one of your teams. This team here. No, man, it was a great time. The whole cookout environment was fun, man. I think outside of April, I think all the other Madison fans were from everywhere else. Because Dave was from Orlando. The other girl, she was from DC.
She moved to DC.
I never got where they were from.
Yeah, she came down.
I don't know if they were from Madison even, but yeah, just
because their front office didn't drive them all down there this time.
They didn't pay the big bucks for them.
Yeah, I heard a rumor they were also a lot of folks were in attendance at a game at a different league as well. Not even tuned in to their own team playing on national television.
Did they just walk in and think they were just going to win in Richmond? I don't know. Maybe so.
Yeah, well, I guess they did.
Many other people thought they were. So we're not going to name names.
USL show thought we had a clean sweep. Sorry. We're normally like this, but this game deserves this. This game deserves this. Because,
yes, it did.
No, we're always like this.
I think we've earned the right to be petty right now.
Yeah.
I think Alex, who writes for League One Updater, by the way, he wrote a good art write-up on the Henny Derby. And he was right. I think you asked everyone before that game, everyone was either pessimistic or and ho ho. Like most of us was like, yo, if we can get a draw, we feel good. Like just get some goals, get a draw, walk out there, right? I don't think too many people was picking a win, but damn it, the win feels good. It feels good. It feels good. I don't care. Like it is so the game, the goal. If the reason why it feels so good is because Madison is the reason for their own downfall, because they decided they're going to score in the 90th minute. They're going to waste 5 minutes celebrating for the Section O, and they cause a whole bunch of stupid fouls around that time at extra time. They give Neil Vigneault 45 yards to drill a ball into the open space. Chandler Dwyer gets his big beefy head onto it.
You know what it was so reminiscent of? The 2011 Women's World Cup quarterfinal, USA versus Brazil, where the only reason there was like 12 minutes of stoppage is because Cristiane decided to pretend that she'd been like killed on the field and flopped around for like 10 straight minutes. It got stretchered off the field and then hopped off the stretcher and ran straight back onto the field. And then in the very dying seconds, actually reminiscent even in play of a cross all the way across the field from Megan Rapinoe right onto Abby Wambach's head to nail a header that sends it to extra time. So play stupid games, win stupid prizes. We've seen this film before.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. So Kickers fans, you get to glow a little bit, Thursday
a
morning,
little bit. Oh, gloat.
Yeah.
Look, gloat your hearts out. Like seriously.
Thursday morning, the sun came out a little bit more sunshine. It was also hot as hell. He's been dumb.
Yeah.
Thursday comes around, everybody's shooting off fireworks in celebration of the Kickers being Madison, nationwide celebration.
Right.
Yes. Fireworks everywhere for us for the Henny Derby.
Yep.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie.
The famous red and white of Richmond Kickers.
Red, white, and blue.
The red, white, and blue.
I wore white to be spotted on TV. By the way, my shirt was fire though. I ain't gonna lie. Mr. Henny Derby.
Hold on. All right.
Yes,
so on that note, so if anybody didn't get a chance to see it, go back and look, because our main man here, Elliot, got interviewed on Galazzo on Monday, one of those days.
Monday.
Earlier in the week.
Yeah, earlier in the week before the game.
Yeah. Well, he didn't bother telling any of us about it, so I missed it.
I didn't know it was going to be live, so that's not on me. I just thought it was going to be like, oh, they're just talking to me and Kyle just to fact check.
So
next thing I know, I'm getting told, hey, sir, we're on air.
So Elliot did a great job overall.
Yeah,
I think he
fantastic
represented for us incredibly well. I only have one, point of contention with him, because this man, on television said, "Oh, I don't really like the attention. I don't like people focusing on me."
Yeah,
let's rewind to 1 minute ago. He's like, "I wore white so I could get on TV."
Also, the thing about that is, I told my wife, actually, she made the shirt. Shout out to follow my wife. She makes all my t-shirts. Trying to get more money in the house. I told her to make me a black or a gray shirt. I woke up that morning, it was white. And the first thing that popped in my head was like, I'm going to spill something on this shirt. It is going to show up on TV. And you just going to have me, a big black person with like this huge stain that's like here. Like, oh, look at the slob. Look at the slob.
That's why you were so quick to whip it off.
That penny sweat.
Oh, I was. Oh my God. Yo. Cameras gold?
That's the second time you've taken your shirt off in Section O this season, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a usual. Oh, there's gonna be more. It's still summertime.
The first one was like the U.S. Open Cup, was it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yep.
This one deserved it. Like,
absolutely.
All right, it deserved it. Merely because of the fact when the ball is in the air on the last goal. Once it goes in the back of that, I think I go straight auto drive. Like everything, like it was straight box play. Yeah. Like people was grabbing people was crying.
It was like in a movie. That scene in a movie where it takes like 30 seconds for like in those stupid soccer movies where somebody kicks it and the ball goes through the air and they have time to film every reaction of every person. Like it literally felt like that.
It did.
Bill's foot to the back of the net. I felt like I could watch the entire Frieza saga of Dragon Ball Z. Just like, why is this taking so long? Like, just get this over with.
Yeah, because I'm thinking about the time. I'm thinking about, okay, they said 10 minutes. It's probably been about 10 minutes. I was like, okay, this is it. We're just gonna hit and hope, see what happens, and the game's gonna end 1-1, and we didn't lose. Oh well, but
no, because like
Chandler said no.
Because I was like, yo, it feels long. Like I was like, maybe I'm tripping. Like maybe it's been like 5 minutes, and I'm thinking it's like 10. I look like I was like, how much extra time they said? That was like 8. I was like, ain't no way. Ain't no way. Like no. But whoo, man. First of all, let's talk about this lineup. So we got, I think everyone at the tailgate, everyone's ears kind of perked up because the first thing we saw was Emiliano Terzaghi start. And we said it the week before. Darren had to play his best starting 11. He did in this game. Like, be damn yellow cards, fitness, all this stuff. You got to go out there with your best 11. Get some Madison team who previously, keyword previously, hadn't lost a game in the league, even though they lost 2 in the cup, which is still the league because they're playing all the same teams in the league. Just let's throw that out there. But yeah, so like, he's already got the start. We saw Dak playing like, is it fair to say Dak was playing the number 6 in this game?
Absolutely, yeah. He was essentially playing for.
I didn't know if he was like off to the left side, but it's fair to say he was playing CDL. I didn't know if it was like that weird left back or Darren was trying to do like 3 in the back at some points.
No, I think your best. The best description if this was kind of like a 4-1-4-1 of sorts.
Okay.
With Dak playing in front of the back two.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. First of all, I know Chandler got man of the match because of the goal and slaphead and all that stuff, but I got to shout out Dak. Like, he played a phenomenal game out there. Like, and I think it came out. Correct me if I'm wrong, man. Like in the post game about Zaka, he picked up a knock in Charlotte, so they didn't start this game. But I don't know, man. Like that partnership between Dak and James, and I know it's only one game, but it looked a lot more mobile than you've seen between Zaka and Vaughn. You know what I'm saying? Like it just looked. It
worked very well.
More space.
Yeah, worked very well. On Wednesday, in particular, anything can always be a random one-off, but I think Dak did a good job of being able to help neutralize Macias or Villalobos, who are a little more active kind of guys in the midfield. Will it work every single week? I mean, it could maybe. Like, now that we haven't seen Dak play before, we were talking about this last week when give you your credit here. You threw that idea out there of, hey, what about Dak in the midfield? And we talked about start of the 2022 season. That's where he was playing, for the team until Ethan came in and everybody kind of moved back, half a line at that point, and it's proven it can work. Yeah, I think he also plays well on the back line. He eventually ended up at left back later in the game, so he's a real kind of Swiss Army knife, in the whole defensive half, of the team, for us, and that's a good tool for Darren to be able to have.
Yeah, it is a good tool to have there, man. And another player to shout out, Nathan Awney. Like, Big Shadir was joking and calling him Mount Awney. Like,
yes,
it's good to see to have a center back there that's like the airspace is his. Like, no, I'm putting my head on this and I'm launching this 40 yards down.
To be honest with you, Ani has me reminiscing a little bit, has me a little bit of nostalgia, but the way he commands the airspace around the 18 reminds me of Yambi. And just how he just dominates that space and says, "This is my house."
Yeah.
So Mount Ani definitely did his thing. He definitely did his thing on Wednesday. He was phenomenal.
Yeah, that man had 7 clearances. Like 7-headed clearances. Like that's insane, man. Yeah. And also like Griffin Garnett, I mean, we talked about his pause on left this year, man, but like to be what, 17? He ain't 18 yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think so.
17. I think he's 17. I remember because I saw his parents before the game. Like to play in a derby, he played well. Like, you know, it's very easy to be caught in the emotions and try to figure out like what's going on. And I'm more shocked Madison didn't try to target him. Because it seemed like they were targeting Arnie a lot. Like it seemed like Chaney was like getting matched up on Arnie, trying to like, you know, put Arnie in tight situations. I'm surprised they didn't go with Griffin Garnett, but that's also like to like credit, like he did enough to not Madison then fell as if like all right, he's the easy one to pick out of this one.
Yeah, he's had a good season so far. Where I think that, as you said, that's probably the reason why they didn't target him because they're like, yeah, he's 16, but he's showing that he's got the composure, so he's not the guy to target.
We have made this man between 16 and 18. He's somewhere around there. He back exposed. So
yeah. So I mean, a young guy like that normally he would be your target guy, but I think from what they've seen so far, they didn't think there was any shout in targeting him. They felt that it would be a waste of time, and that speaks to his performance so far this year.
Yeah, and then you know, we finally got to see Bill Hart and Vinyals and Terzaghi on the field at the same time. What was your thoughts on that partnership? Because I'm pretty excited about seeing this.
I think it was. Yeah.
Greg, all 3 of them touched it on the goal. Like it went Bill Hart and then Vinyals. No, Vinyals, Bill Hart, Emmy. Right?
So it started because Emmy and I think it was Vaughn were really high pressing back in that corner, and I think it was Cruel that they were able to take the ball. Doesn't matter who it was. They were able to really pop the ball free. Still within 18 yards of the end line, and the ball pops. And they're able to play it inside. To I think it's Neil who takes a touch or two, plays the ball across. I think it's Bill Hart there, and at that moment, I'm thinking, all right, sweet, Adrian's going to be able to blast the ball in from there. He takes a touch. I'm panicking. I'm like, what are you doing? Why are you slowing this down
I think everyone did it because I was just like, oh my God.
Yeah. And I was like touching the wrong direction too.
Right. But sure enough, Emmy had drifted inside, and he's open right at the top of the 18. Bill Hart passes him. Ball. Emmy takes one touch, sets it up on his left foot, and just ropes one into the corner from about 16, 17 yards out with his left foot. And I mean, this is what we've been missing for a lot of the year. Like we've talked about Chandler's done a job up front, really being kind of an energy guy, throwing his body around kind of guy, but he'll be the first to tell you he's not a center forward. We've seen Boschwer there, we've seen Sierkowski there, we've seen Simmons there, and Emmy just gives you that added presence of knowing where to be, being able to create that half yard of space. He didn't even need to create that half yard of space this time. There was nobody near him. Way to go, Madison. It's just now in the scouting report of leave 32 wide open.
Yeah, man.
We'll play it there. But just the finishing as well. Like that's a shot that you expect him to hit every time, and he hit it clean.
Yeah.
Shipman had no chance.
Yeah, no, he didn't.
Yeah,
the back view of it was so clean. Like how he avoided both batters, it just curved. It was sick.
I mean, it's like you said. I understand that you're saying like, okay, they kind of left him open, but I think that is the instinct that we have been missing. Like Terzaghi just knows how to find those pockets of space. There's always going to be pockets of space. I mean, that's the brilliance of the size of a soccer field with 22 guys on it. There's always going to be pockets of space, no matter how you set up. the fact that Terzaghi almost every time seems to be able to find where that pocket of space is. He just has the instinct to know where it is. We have missed that dearly this season, and we just saw it literally. Major opportunity. The ball gets moved around. They move it around like they normally do, but I don't think anyone else would have found that pocket of space the way Terzaghi did.
And the technique, because I think when he first hit that from on the side, I thought it was like low, hard on the ground and more. I think it looked simpler from our vantage point, but he almost hit it on like a half volley, like it was in the air. It wasn't actually like low and on the ground. And like you said, the curve on it, that technique is someone who has practiced shooting and only shooting their entire life. And I think, Bashwa, he's got the height, he's got, we'd hope the headers, Chandler has most of his goals off right headers. He's got his shots from distance. Bill Hart's the only player who we've really seen. You can't just always whack the ball toward the goal and it'll go in. We say that a lot, but like through so many players, the pace that he got on that shot, if there is not the pace on that ball, that's a savable shot. Like it is close enough to the keeper that if it doesn't have the pace on it, the keeper could get his fingertips to it. The pace on that shot was unbelievable from that tiny pocket of room. Terzaghi did not have a run up. He did not have a run up of 3 to 4 yards to get his laces through it. The fact that he generated that much power, the technique he has, I don't think a single player in our team has the shooting technique specifically. And that's why you need a center forward, a shooting center forward. So there's a lot of other dimensions to attacking, but pure shot.
Out there to act like Kobe. Just shoot. Just
yeah.
Shoot.
But yeah, you could I think anyone else takes that and it takes a deflection and it goes out. Like it doesn't have the power, the precision. You needed his skill set for that shot to come off.
Power the cognac in him.
Yeah.
It certainly did. Also, like Darren, I think Darren got his tactics for this game spot on. Like we mentioned earlier, like putting back into the midfield, or really you saw Richmond be direct. And I know we said it before. We said it a lot of times. This team is their best when they play direct, and they proved it. Because like Madison, I was kind of confused what Madison was doing, because like it felt like as if like Madison wanted to play possession, but then they also wanted to go out to the wings. But then when they had goal kicks, it was like Shipman was not taking goal kicks. Like it was, I'm pretty sure it's a coaching directive of like, no, play it short. And Richard was like, oh, you're just gonna keep playing it short. Like that's fine. We're just gonna press. We're gonna send Bill Hart and Tony and just press the fullbacks and create turnovers. Like that's literally how the first goal came from, because they just pressed the fullbacks and it created a turnover. And we saw that happen over and over again from against Madison in the first half. Like, and I mean, give credit where credit's due. Like Darren got it right tonight. Well, Wednesday night he got it right. Wednesday.
Yeah, I mean, not only that, like the team came out with a good energy.
Yeah,
they were able to maintain that energy throughout. We've talked plenty about sometimes this team is just consistently second to any loose ball, and that was not the case on Wednesday. They were winning a lot more of the duels, it felt like, in the midfield. They were beating Madison to various loose balls, and those things don't always necessarily show up on the stat sheet, but they can affect the tenor of the game. They can affect is somebody going to really make that riskier pass? Are they going to play it safe and recycle instead? And I thought that played a real difference too, and just how we forced Madison into playing, because sure they had more possession, that's fine, but it was a lot more possession on the kicker's terms rather than possession on Madison's terms.
Yeah, which is key, because like we know how Richmond lost. They want to ideally play is like possession based, but like they went to this game knowing like, all right, we're not going to have success against Madison out possessing them at their own game, right? So they went to the other tactic of like, all right, we're going to play direct, we're going to play physical in the middle and get this ball there into the wings. Now, did it always pay off? No, but I think like Jenner, like you were mentioning, like having that threat of Tony just out there, like it played into our head because Madison was like, all right, we got to sit off. Like it's literally the difference between this game and the Noko game, where Noko was able to push their line up 10 yards and Madison pushed their line back 10 yards because Richmond is deliberately trying to go in behind.
Yeah. Yeah. I think there were a lot of different dynamics in this game that really made things difficult for Madison to deal with us. One thing that was new, it just as you were saying, like with having Tony on that wing, yes, he's kind of one of those players that can't really hold up the ball too well in terms of his stature, but just that, and we were talking about it before we started recording, Matt. He's just a speed merchant, and that pace can always be intimidating, regardless of his size. His pace is intimidating because you never know when he's going to just turn on the jet, and unless you have someone, and fortunately, they're probably the player who would have probably been able to handle him that they had was on the other side of the pitch, Stephen Payne. If Payne was playing left back rather than right back, he probably would have been able to keep Tony quiet and they would have been able to really focus on everything else. But the fact that Payne is on the right side and his pace isn't that useful on the right side because Belhart is tucking in a lot and getting involved in the midfield where Stephen Payne, his pace isn't really needed to deal with Belhart when he's literally just handing him off to one of the central defenders. It literally was a waste of Stephen Payne's defensive prowess and defensive ability to have him on the right side away from where Tony could definitely do some damage pace-wise. Also, another thing that I had noticed, and I talked to you about it during the game, Elliot, was the rotation off the ball and the way the kickers were communicating with each other off the ball. When we were in possession, there was one time where, first of all, I know Terzaghi was playing up top, but he was literally everywhere. He played on the right, he played on the left, he dropped in deep, like defensive midfield deep. And I remember there was one situation where he dropped very deep, and I believe it was James Vaughan who just stepped up into that striker spot to allow Dak to come forward a little more so that the midfield was balanced. And once that play was done and Terzaghi gets rid of the ball and now the ball is going all the way out to the right side, then Terzaghi, and literally I was watching Terzaghi, there wasn't even any verbal communication. It was literally just a look and a nod and everyone just rotated back to where they needed to be flawlessly. And it happened several times in the game where players were just rotating out of position. Someone else would jump into that position and the whole team would kind of rejig to make sure that there were a few pockets that Madison could capitalize on if they were to win the ball back. It was a very, very, very clinical show of off the ball movement and possession.
Yeah, most definitely. And like, I know in the second half they kind of my bad. I'm so excited. I got to clear my throat. I know in the second half they kind of got away from being a little bit more in the front foot. Like I know they went a little bit more defensive with the subs and everything like that. Like it kind of felt like the tempo really changed a lot, like in the 74th minute. And I don't know if this was like an injury substitution or just like, all right, we don't want to burn them out too quickly. But when they brought up Terzaghi, you could tell like the offense really it didn't come to a halt because obviously we scored another goal, but it really slowed up a lot because there was no focal point in that forward line. I don't know if y'all saw the same thing as either.
Yeah, no, I turned to Nicole next to me and said, we cannot concede because I don't think they have another goal in them.
Yeah.
Like for about 10 minutes. Yeah, there was just, it was fine, but it was that like, if we concede, I don't know where another goal would come from, which is not a great way to end a game of this. Obviously another goal did come, but it needed a Hail Mary. Because once Terzaghi came off, there was no direction and Madison obviously had their desperation was just ratcheting up and up and up. And so they were trying increasingly desperate ways to.
Yeah. And I mean, Matt Glazer, he got an embarrassment of riches. He didn't even bring on his, new transferred striker, Grant McLaughlin. I don't think he made 18, but no,
he wasn't in the team.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't on this.
But you would think all right, if I got Chaney, he's been doing decent. I would think pairing Chaney and Galindrez, but no, it was just no, we'll take one striker, I'll put another striker on.
I mean, kind of worked out for him, but I don't think it's unreasonable, for Darren to try to secure the win later on because you look at the subs that he made. He brings Zaka on for Pineda, at first, right, and at that point, Zaka goes in to midfield, Dak goes back to left back, and Maxi moves up, the field. We've seen variants of that, before this season, right? And then he pulls off, Emmy and who's the other one that came off?
Was it Vaughn? It wasn't Vaughn.
Oh, it was Maxi himself. It was actually Maxi.
Okay. Yeah.
You come off, Suko and Chandler, come on. So that's clearly maximize the midfield, lock in, and for the most part it was working. I think I don't necessarily buy this, but there's some people who are militant about you don't sub on free kicks, you don't sub on corners or anything, and Vaughn came off, Boschwa came on, it was that corner when that happened. I think that's just more coincidental than anything else. But at that point, also it felt like, oh crap, how do we possibly get this one back? And more importantly, oh no, please tell me this isn't going to go terribly, terribly wrong.
Okay. On Madison's corner, and seeing the replay of it, do y'all think there's anything different Richmond could have done to defend that? Because it looked like the Rangers just literally jumped out the room. It don't look like nobody was. Only criticism I can say is that you maybe want to have someone tagging him. I wish somebody was closer to him to maybe offset him. But the height he got, I don't think anyone's touching him.
I think also on top of that, if you look at it, how short of a corner that was. I mean, that was first man clearance range, and I don't think anyone was expecting him to get it on target from that angle. Also, there's another situation.
Yeah,
he'd overhit four before
that. They went out of bounds.
Exactly. So he's hitting them over most of the time, and then this time it comes short. And I
honestly, I wonder if he meant it. Mostly because he's been overhitting it so much that I wonder if he was like, okay, I'm going to get it right in the middle this time, and accidentally hits it so short. Yeah. He actually has no ability to get the ball where he wants to go. Sorry, that's just the saltiness in me talking after watching him whack four of the absolute worst corners.
Because they celebrated for a good minute. But also, by the way, Red Army, don't throw cups onto the field, please. I don't.
No. I know you've been seeing them do that in Europe, but that's not a good thing.
But USL League One, please start fining teams who do celebrate in front of supporter sections because apparently that's how the rest of the civilized world does it.
Right. And then somebody was like, "Oh, the whole time, ref, ma'am, I don't ever want you to think Richmond gets favored with the referees. I don't ever want you to think this because Madison decided to. If I remember the celebrations right." The corner taker decided to whip his shirt up and down. Then you had, what's his name? Galindrez run over to us, take his shirt off, slam it down, which if I'm a Madison fan, I'm kind of upset about, slamming the jersey.
Well, look, he's probably mad because he knows he's losing his job anytime soon.
Right.
Right? This guy goes from place to place, and he'll do his job. He scored in Chattanooga. I don't know what he really did in Rio Grande Valley. Goes up to Madison, now, and every coach that's out there doesn't want to play him.
No, he gets replaced very quickly. What else happened? You had the entire bench run down.
Yeah.
Mike Gazer fist pumps to the Madison fans. People didn't see that. Then what else happened?
The one who whipped his shirt off was thrusting at the corner flag for a solid 30 seconds.
He did. He started thrusting.
Maxey put that thing out of its misery. It had been violated by that man. So Maxey did what he needed to do.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Pablo. Yeah,
Pablo.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
What else happened? Oh, they walked away. He decides, Glendress then decides to kneel down on one knee like he's at Notre Dame. They got to pray in front of touchdown Jesus. And then Payne he was already towards the bench. Payne decides to walk back. Hangs his jersey like it's going into the rafters in front of Glendress. And then Glendress decides to put his shirt on.
I thought Payne was getting ready to, do the, Messi to Real Madrid, celebration. I would have been ready to murder in that case.
I was screaming things at Stephen Payne in that moment that no human being should ever.
Stephen Payne, who had been substituted out by that point for the record.
Yeah, like they had the entire team out, like the managing staff, everyone was out of fit
because he didn't do anything useful all game.
Right.
Yeah.
But he needed to just put the final match on the bridge that he was burning with the Richmond kickers. He'd done 99% with the whole no celebration gimmick in the last home goal.
Yeah.
But he needed to burn the bridge.
Important question for you on this topic.
Yeah.
So we think back to last year. Payne finds his way over to you. Give you a big hug after the game, right?
Yeah.
Did he reach out to you for any post-game hugs or anything this time around?
No, but I wasn't on the field either. I was in the stands, too liberated.
Weird how he didn't.
No, he didn't.
Weird how he didn't seek out that opportunity to come be like, oh hey guys, how's it going? Yeah. Good game, guys.
No, he did not make his way over there. But they had 10 minutes or so to do that. Because as I remember, they deliberately foul. Mm-hmm. I don't really think Madison even really created a chance.
Oh, no, they had a couple like
you did
93 or 94 where they were coming down, and I distinctly remember thinking, I swear to God, if they finish this cross or whatever, like because if they did that, they're gonna be right over in front of our faces again, and brutal.
That would have at that point, man. Section O would have. Oh man.
No, that would have been a bad situation. Very bad situation.
CDS? Like that's the last time Richmond would have had a CDS whole game. Oh yeah.
Oh wow.
I mean, we already talked about it before, but once again, I just want to say, Tim Mill, you're about to get a statue of Richmond, buddy, because you fouled. I forgot who it was, but you fouled a kickers player, and Neil Vigneault just getting the kick. And I don't know if a lot of people saw this, but there was a forward Madison player who came over to the ball with a ref standing there and tried to push it back even further, and he got a talking to for the ref. So that gave Neil the opportunity to put the ball back when it was and get the kickers more organized in the box, because originally they were at the top of the 18-yard box, and then they moved into the 18-yard box. And then Neil just delivers a sweet cross into it. And it was lovely. It was so lovely. It made my heart happy.
Yeah.
What's especially great about it, other than like the actual essence of it being a 100 minute winner against the big rival, the fact that all the different TV angles, but because it was such a hyped up game, there's so many other people catching content there that we've been able to see that from like 5 or 6 different perspectives now.
Yep.
And
what's his name? Drew? He caught it in 4K and it looked amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it from so many different perspectives. I've probably seen that goal like 1,000 times by now. Whether that's the TV broadcast, whether that's Instagram catch, whether that's actual professional camera sort of thing, whatever it might be, and like one after another, you notice different little things, like you notice like how quickly like Nick Simmons is right out there, like hopping in, the celebration with everyone. You notice, like just Ani's face as he's running over there. Like I think Ani looks more excited than Chandler was.
Expect this is the last action.
So beautiful. Look at this.
As it's sent in, all the big bodies forward, it's in!
Look at that.
That's just.
See, now we're gonna get have to get this episode tagged for like adult content or something because
this is so wonderful, man. Like you're right. Like I've been able to see like so many different reactions. Like I've never heard City say like pop like that. Like it was like.
And what's crazy is so many people had left too.
Yeah,
like
so
it was
many
still
people...
that loud. But the stands at that end, like the amount of empty seats that were full at kickoff, I would assume are full through the 90th minute, that a lot of people threw up their hands and said, I'm going home, because there were a lot more empty seats at that end of the stadium than I expected to see in all those replays. And it still sounded like that.
Yes, they blew the roof off the place. And that was one thing that I did not notice when we were there, because I mean, when you're within section O, we can't hear everybody else. We were going crazy. It was pandemonium in section O.
It was like the opposite. Like it was real loud up until that free kick, and then after that for like 10 seconds, it just like there was no sound. Like I mean, everybody and grabbed the next person too, and it started shaking.
Yeah, and the one thing, how we do the right here, right now chant that we do on this free kick, usually only section O, I could see people all throughout the stadium chanting right here, right now. And that really just let me know, okay, that we're invested here. Let's go. I mean, I didn't expect a goal, but I did like the fact that the support was there. But when that goal went in and catching the footage afterward, I mean, you could have mistaken that other side where Chandler ran to for section O. Like that's how crazy everyone was going over there.
Well, we also got the section O point of view, because what was it? The protagonist had just the the isolated shot on section O / the other half of the field, and I mean it looked like something you could lift out of random other quote unquote traditional soccer country X, with just people losing their minds, like arms flying all over the place. Like it was 90th plus 10, so there wasn't much left in like the way of like beer shower or anything. But even then, you saw a little bit fly up through there. It was fun. It's what.
Yep.
I can't say the number one fan experience I had, but it's definitely up there.
Nobody even did the smoke, because everyone was literally like, no one had the presence of mind to even uncap the smoke, because everyone's heads were so gone. Like I don't think a single person, it was like, oh, we should think of the vibe. Like we should like,
it's like, oh, we got to get the smoke going. No.
Everyone just
we lost it. We completely lost it.
No, like in the midst of that, like the shirt came off, like people are grabbing me, I'm grabbing people.
They're talking about you on the broadcast. They're saying, look at Elliot Barr, like the man who created that, whatever the commentator said.
And he called me like so someone who was it? Doug showed me the video after him about like how they're talking to me, and I go like this, and it's not because like, oh, I can't believe we can't win. It's like, yo, like I gotta catch my breath, because like we've been celebrating for like 5 minutes, just yelling at our lungs.
Yep. I was so
through all that. I had no idea that Pablo had exercised the corner flag.
And I'm not gonna lie, I felt so scared. The first time I watched it, I felt so scared for the security guard right there, because only thing I saw was the flag and the pointed in, and I was like, oh my god, like this is gonna hit him in the face, and we're gonna have a lawsuit. Like that's all I thought about, man.
But there's I don't know their names, but like the three
the three
early teenagers that are down there all the time. They saw it coming, and you could see like their faces like just start to become like horrified as Pablo goes
shock and horror.
Just like roundhouse kick destroys the corner flag. It's artwork, really.
It is. And also, man, shout out to Pablo, yo, because like
I know he made some saves.
He did.
Yeah.
Like he had some great saves. Like what was it? What was it? It was
he had an early one
where like the Madison player just started walking and had his back to it.
Yeah.
It was like he made a couple of great. I feel so bad because like Pablo, he really deserved a clean sheet in this game. He did.
Yeah.
He did.
I agree.
He deserved a clean sheet. Like, the goal was not because of him. I'll put it like that. Like it was.
Yeah.
Like Schneer said, he came up with a really early one. I think it was on Gebhardt.
Yeah.
He had another one.
Got low really quick.
He did. Yeah.
So he came a big one. He needed to, and I think Darren, you talked about this, in the post game that he's really stepped his game up in the last month or so, and I think it's showing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looked good. Like I know the early part of the year we had concerns about like his distribution long, and you can see the kickers kind of adjusted that. But I think Pablo, like, or like Akira, like we could tell, like Akira's biggest strength was like his long range distribution, like putting the ball back. Like Pablo's is probably like just shot statement, like those instinct saves where he don't gotta like think about it. He just like you said, Shanae, like he'll just get low, or like those double reaction saves. Like he really does well at that, man. But yeah, man.
I did also enjoy his Instagram comment the next day where he reposted the video of Emmy scoring. He's like, first time I get to celebrate a goal by the king.
Yeah.
that is hilarious. That is hilarious. That is hilarious. And like, yo, I've never had a night like that after a game in the Red Army tailgate where like most of the times, like, because either we're doing post game, so I'm a little bit late, but I decided I wasn't doing post game that night. Like I was like, yo, I am going to go party. And me and Shanae are walking over there. And usually by then you see people like leaving, there's like a little, like maybe 5 or 6 people, right? Nah, bro, it was like at least 20 to 30 people over there waiting for the Madison bus, just throwing chants at Madison. It was like, man, I know they felt so bad.
There was one Madison player who just stood eating his pizza in front of the bus door for like 10 minutes. I don't know. He clearly was like, thought he was doing something, like being like, oh, like you're not affecting me emotionally or whatever. And it was just like, move it along, dude.
It's like the fact that you're doing that lets me know that I am affecting you.
Yep.
You are upset, sir. You are upset.
Yeah, that was some of our finest work.
Yeah, that's absolute scene. Absolute scene. It just also a shout out to Taylor Rockwell from TSS was there, and he was beside himself when we saw him outside the stadium.
Dude, I think everybody was, man. Like we talked about it. I think like right after the Novo game, like Richmond got to go on this streak where they got to play Charlotte. You got the Lions first game, and then you had this game, and then you got the break that we're on now before you go to Chattanooga. And like we all said it, like Richmond needs to get points out of this. They walked out of here probably not with the full 7 points like we would have hoped or wanted, but they walked out of here with 5 points, right? And a huge derby win, and you get a PK win over Charlotte. That more or less keeps you alive in the Jägermeister Cup, for times. And I think like if you would have offered that to us 2 weeks ago, heck yeah, we would have took that. We did. And it's so good to see. Like, I think I was thinking about this today. I think it's good that the Richmonds got a break from this, not only because they played, I think, like 4 or 5 games in 11 days, so you can tell like they're getting tired, but also like you need to come down off that emotion hill so you can stay grounded. Like it's great you got the win, but I would hate for them to go like get this big derby win, play someone like Chattanooga or like Union Omaha and lost, and then we're back at ground zero. You get what I'm saying? Like they got a good week, they can recover. Hopefully, Guy Franklin comes back because him and Ani in the back four are going to look magnificent. I cannot wait for it to happen. But yeah, like I'm very excited to get this Henny Derby win. It's good to have the trophy. The trophy's not actually with me. The players got it because I gave it to Chris Cole at the end of the game so that the players could go celebrate with it. Which, by the way, too, I owe Chandler a bottle of Hennessy now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, definitely worth it. Absolutely worth it.
Can we go back to being petty little screw, we've already been swearing like petty assholes for a little bit more.
Gosh,
How about that post game handshake, Darren and Matt Glazer? That dude is perennially just the biggest little crybaby, after anything doesn't go his way.
Oh God.
And I loved it.
I did, man.
It was,
Darren went in there when they go shake his hand, and then I don't know what the Madison coach said to him, but Darren like shoved his hand back into him. I was like, "Oh, Darren." That was reminiscent of the Conte Tuchel handshake. He just shook his hand for like 20 seconds and just stared at each other. That was, man.
This isn't even the first time for him. Like, there's been other times like that dude picks up yellow cards. He's been sent off multiple times for Madison. Just a petulant child, and I'm sure he probably thinks this shit doesn't stink right now because they're up on the table. It had nothing to do with you. It's this is a talent issue. It's not a coaching issue whatsoever. Your team was trash last year, and you threw all your players under the bus because of that.
You did twice in back-to-back years. You threw your players underneath the bus. I know we get on Darren sometimes because he loves his boys, but Darren ain't throwing no players under the bus. And if he does, it's like very, very like all right. Like we gotta change this.
Yeah, it when he does, it's very subtle and deserved. But 9 times, I mean, Darren will never throw his players on the bus, and that's a mark of what a coach should do. I mean, you should never, and that's why we see sometimes the nonsense that some of these coaches say in post game. It's because they're trying to turn the attention on them and away from the players, which is a noble thing to do. And I think Darren is one of those coaches that would do that in a heartbeat. I mean, I don't think it's good for anyone to be throwing their players under the bus.
Yeah, man. So
you keep that behind locker room doors.
Yeah, like we said right now, because after the games that played Saturday, Richmond, more or less, we already knew it. Like, even if we won, we knew we were going to fall out of the playoffs just because there was no way the Spokane Chattanooga result, like whoever won that game or got the draw from that, it was going to knock us out. It's not the end of the world. It just means now that the teams that have games on hand of us, I think everyone at least has played 8 games, right? If I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken.
They surely by now.
Yeah. But we got Chattanooga coming up, and we're going to Chattanooga. And I think, like, there is a space for Richmond to – if Richmond can walk out of Chattanooga with a win, like, this might be the change of the tide that the Kickers needed, yo. Like, I know Chattanooga has been a house of horrors. We have talked about it extensively on this podcast.
Yeah.
But if they're able to go into Chattanooga, get a positive result out of there, the second half of the season, man, can go any which way for us. Like, it is good. It feels good because it's like you can see this team finally getting on the other side of like the things are falling their way, and it would be big too because I think like if they win that game there at Chattanooga, it will kind of create a little bit distance from us around like Lexington and Fuego and them all the time.
Yeah, so I got up now. Everybody's played at least 9 games at this point. Tremendous played the most at 12. Us and Greenville on 11. Everybody else 9 or 10. The Kickers are out of the playoffs, but that's only a goal difference right now. They're tied with Tormenta and Hailstorm on 12 points. Tormenta's played a game more. Hailstorm's played 2 fewer. So they're right there.
Yeah.
Again, it's going to take time. It's not going to be a one-game instant fix, standings-wise. That's just mathematics of everything. But the way I'm looking at it is, Ellie, what you're talking about, this Chattanooga game, like this could, maybe this is the difference maker, because we're at almost exactly, 1 year ago when, everything kind of, fell apart was Wednesday, kind of, the walk, out of, that year of darkness into the light, into, kind of, a new rebirth with, first Emmy start back, a real, kind of flash moment. I mean, it's the dark year started with the worst half any of us have ever seen.
Yeah.
And do we come out of it with the possibly most notable goal that we've had in the League One era?
Yeah.
I still got love for Joey G's half court shot against Tormenta, but yeah, it's probably is up there.
Yeah, I didn't say best goal. I said notable.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Right. So, I mean, again, it could be just a beautiful bookend, to a European, to be able to push us forward. And if you get that first win in that little bandbox of Chattanooga there, then I think momentum moves forward.
Yeah,
absolutely. And we also have to take into consideration like Emmy's first game starting back in the starting lineup, and then he gets over a week of break before the next game. So which is also a really, really good thing for us to see that Emmy not only got the start, but then he doesn't have to turn around and play another game on that weekend. He's got a whole week and a half before the next game to make sure that he is set and ready to go for it. And we can definitely rely on him again to be our focal point, the focal point of our attack. Again, we have a direction when we're attacking now.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at the table, like Tormenta's falling down. They're like you said, Matt, they're even on games with us, but Noka's probably going up. So, but like, I mean, Richmond, more or less, this is like July is a big month for them. Like, because you got Chattanooga, you only got one home game. That's 20th against Greenville. That's in the Jägermeister Cup. Anything can happen in that match. Like, if Matt, correct me if I'm wrong, Richmond needs to win that. They want to be competitive in the last two.
I think all but like the math alone would say that they're 5 points back, but then Greenville and Charlotte playing each other twice in the last two match days and everything. It gets a little screwy, but
yeah,
I think it's next to impossible without a win that game.
The tough part is they also need to score goals.
That's done. That's gone.
No, but just in general, like a win is like that's what's frustrating about this is like, yeah, we need a win, but
if they can win,
well, I mean, the only time a draw would be useful is if we win the penalty shootout and Charlotte fail against South Georgia. Because if Charlotte fail against South Georgia, then we're able to get some points on the board. We're skipping over Charlotte and getting that second place spot. So
we'll see because the back of that's true, but like that's the only home game, and then the other two are you got Chattanooga on the road, who Chattanooga is more or less like I can't believe I'm about to say this because we say this every time. Chattanooga has been struggling, but they found a weird way how to beat us. But they have been struggling, and then you got a Lexington team who, boy, I think everyone got that prediction wrong on Lexington, but Richmond got to prove it against Lexington as well, and like if they can walk out of this month with. Let's see.
Give me 4 points out of the two league games.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take that because like I can take a draw at Chattanooga. It's not the end of the world because the Chattanooga win their next game, like it just makes them even with us. Yeah, I can take that. Like 4 points in the league game and what? A win is a win a must in the Jägermeister Cup?
Yeah.
Realistically, probably, but I want to sacrifice that if you go to the league results.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean the Jägermeister Cup, a win puts our fate in our own hands.
Yeah.
A draw, it all depends on what Charlotte and South Georgia do.
But it is the next time we see them play at home, so a win would be nice.
Yes.
Rather not have our only home game in almost 2 full months be a pathetic loss, or even another penalty loss.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. I think all of us are going to go enjoy the rest of this Henny Derby. It's fun because unlike years past, we don't have to wait for another game. Season series is done. The Kickers are the Henny Derby champs. It's all good. It's all good. She's back home, folks. She's back home.
Yep.
Anything else, guys, before we wrap up? It's been a long one, but it was just
I think for me, like Wednesday was just a proof of concept for what Richmond can be, right? That crowd was great. The red shirt giveaway, super effective. I thought like game to game, I thought that, oh wow, it's great. A lot of people are wearing red here. No, it looked so much better. With all those shirts in the crowd, it really kind of popped. And I think shows that if this city gets a team that can put out that quality consistently, like the crowds will be there. The crowds will be hot in there, and City Stadium can be the place, and it'll be the place where if they want more League One TV games, City Stadium will become the obvious choice for that. It's just a matter of are the crowds continue to be enticed to come out, and winning like that is a great first step for that. So we saw everything that it can be. Hopefully we continue to see it like that, and even better, and less of these sub 4 crowds that we've started to inch our way towards.
Yeah. I mean, you're bound to get those sub 4 crowds around this time of year, especially on a year where you've got the Euros and the Copa America and the Olympics are coming up. Most people are like, it's too hot to be watching that much soccer outside, so I'm going to go inside and watch the game in the air condition. So you get a lot more, and also people travel on vacation during the summer. But for that to be the case, and in the middle of the week on a Wednesday night, for City Stadium to be blasting like that, I love it. And it gives us time to do, because we have how long until our next home game? 2 weeks. A good 2 weeks for news to travel. A good 2 weeks for people, for this event to be circulating on social media in Richmond. For people to be like, oh yeah, I heard about a couple weeks ago, things went really crazy at City Stadium. When it's back to back, you usually don't get that much of a turnout in the next home game if it's very soon afterwards, because the word hasn't been able to travel as quickly, but as much. But it just creates more anticipation for that next game, especially with it being a game in a much shorter cup competition. It'll give it a little more jeopardy, give it a little more drama, and that can create even more of an atmosphere, which is just absolutely wonderful.
Yeah. And I think what's really cool, obviously we've been hearing, from the Ivy players their whole season about how exciting it is to play in front of a City Stadium crowd. And it feels like, that first 2022 season, the big crowds, that was great. The second season, you're not, maybe it's not going to keep that momentum, but this season, we had a lot of players who said, when they signed with Richmond, I was so excited to play in front of this crowd. I was so excited to come and play, and be on the good guys, be one of the good guys this year. So it also feels like not just from a national TV broadcast, but in this league, the first 2 seasons, is it a one-off, is it a flash in the pan? But now 3 seasons on, it's starting to become, if you want to play in front of the best crowd in the league, you want to be playing at Richmond. So it's cool to see that it's sort of trickling into the player side as well, with hearing the amount of players who said, it's really exciting to be in front of a good crowd every week, which you don't get at every crowd in this league.
The last thing I would say is, say it with me, folks, it's good to beat that pink team up north.
It absolutely is.
The only trophy they had, we now have, and we got to find some way to put it in our trophy case.
Yeah.
So, with that being said, folks,
look, I told the league, the league even published it, my declaration that Madison doesn't win anything ever.
There you go.
Money can't always.
I'm not telling lies.
So, with that being said, folks, we just want to say thank you for taking the time out of your day to listen to our show. We know it's a long one, but hey, you'll enjoy it. Go back and rewatch it along with Chandler Go. Yeah. With that being said, y'all, we will holler at y'all next week. Hopefully, we are talking about another one, and we can exercise some demons. Be fun. All right, y'all. I'll show you.